Well, how was he identified? And she said through his digital license. And I was like, but I'm his mother. That's not good enough for me. And she said he had a very
Big tattoo.
outstanding tattoo on his arm. And I asked her to describe it. And she said yes. I said, well, I feel like I want to come down anyway. And she goes, well, even if you come down, we're doing the autopsy tomorrow. We won't let you in. And I thought that's so strange from the beginning, but I was so paralyzed.
Teresa McDevitt was in shock. It's every parent's nightmare. For over 4.5 years, Teresa and Kevin McDevitt Sr. have been on a campaign to clear their son's name and have a man brought to justice. On August 31st, 2010, their son Kevin McDevitt Jr. was found dead in a seedy motel room in Atlantic City of a drug overdose. Kevin was a 21-year-old criminal justice student and a volunteer firefighter. His parents say he was a fun-loving, caring person.
I can remember it as a bright light, a shining star to me.
The last time they saw their son was 10:45 the night before. He came home to get sneakers and a dress shirt for a spontaneous trip to New Jersey. Kevin and 3 of his friends were supposed to meet girls in Seaside Heights, but when those plans fell through, they decided to drive to Atlantic City. While getting directions from his friend's dad, Kevin, while turning his car around, hit a bump in the road and it tore off his oil pan.
So he was broken down, the car was dead. They called Mike's father, they called AAA. Mike's father eventually, they took care of that and he got them a room in the Tropicana.
Teresa and Kevin Sr. say when the young man got to the hotel, Kevin noticed that his friends had consumed a bottle of whiskey that he had brought on the trip.
Because they were probably giggling, laughing. They were drunk on Jack Daniels. I think he had his mind set up that he was going to eventually blow them off.
He tried me on my cell phone 5 times.
5 times.
252 to 318 was the last call I got. From what he told me, he said the tow truck's coming. I'm going to try and find a way home by bus.
And he left, but he took his shoebox with him. If he wasn't coming home, he never would have taken his shoebox with him, because he wasn't going out at 4 in the morning to hide in some bathroom and change into sneakers.
And later that morning, a note was found on the McDevitt's door.
Left by one of the kids' mothers that call me as soon as you can. We can't find Kevin. He left last night. We're worried about him. Blah blah blah. So I called her, and she told me, and I immediately at that point, I knew Atlantic City. I don't know great, but I knew it was not a place to be at 4 in the morning. And I started Googling all different motels and stuff down there, thinking maybe he just went out and said, no, I got enough money, I'll get my own motel. Yeah. And nobody was responding, and at that point the knock came to the door. It was the Tuxedo Police.
The officer said that Kevin had died from a fatal cocktail of drugs. He was found by a maid inside a Roadway Inn motel room only 5 blocks away from the Tropicana.
In a seedy motel room that was registered to a man named Ramal Deshaun Tyson. Only they didn't tell me that. They wouldn't tell me any names or anything. I got the name Ramal Deshaun Tyson through writing to Roadway. And Roadway sent me back his license and his form. And I started looking up Ramal Deshaun Tyson. Found out he had another name called D. White Greer. Mm-hmm. He had another D. White Montrell Greer. Stacy Greer is his real name, and they're still trying him under D. White Greer.
The McDevitts have been trying to prove to Atlantic City Police that they were wrong in their initial assessment. They say that Kevin died from an accidental overdose inside room 207 at the Roadway Inn.
I got the phone records, I got the ATM records, noticed that he was robbed for over like 7 days after his death. Mm-hmm. And I kept bringing it to the police down there, and it seemed like they didn't really they wanted me to go away is what they wanted. That's what it came down to. But I wouldn't. I told them I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I know I can feel the dirt and I can see the dirt here.
In my next report, the McDevitts explain how they feel the Atlantic City Police continually botched up their son's investigation. And now they're on a mission to clear their son's name and prove that he was drugged, abducted, robbed, and ultimately killed. Reporting for HVNN.com, I'm Donna Ryer.